Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. It's Saturday here, but I'm getting all these messages via inboxes and various other channels that the Mueller report has been handed in, and obviously that's my cue to come on and read. Now, I've had a look at some of the coverage, and yes, the media is going absolutely wild. There's a couple of cautions here. They're saying that media is, I guess, latching onto the fact that the Department of Justice has said that the report is saying that there will be no further indictments. Now, before we get too carried away, nobody has seen the Mueller report, except now it's been given to William Barr. I do feel, when I tune into it, that the President was given a heads up that it would be handed in at this time. He's not in the White House, he's at Mar-a-Lago, and I do feel that he will obviously seize on the fact that there is no collusion. Now, again, before we get carried away, there are a couple of things I want to mention here. Is collusion a charge? Certainly my viewers have come forward and said it's not an actual offence. Okay, so the second thing is that report was looking at obstruction of justice. Now, we know that there were lies that were potentially told before Congress in relation to the Trump Tower meeting. We know that Mueller's handed off a good deal of the investigation to other district attorneys. So his report might be one thing, but those other investigations that are ongoing are another. Okay, so before we start to say Mueller's report is a dud, Trump is getting off scot-free, please take a step back and have a deep breath and understand that there are ongoing investigations and that those matters that we are already aware of in the public domain around that Trump Tower meeting, around the statement that Donald Trump dictated from the airplane, all of those other the other matters that we know have been wrong, they're still yet to be dealt with in Mueller's report. So I feel that for those that are jumping the gun, let's put it that way, and saying Mueller's report is a dud, I would say to you, you have no idea what's in it. All right, so beware of media speculation. Don't get crestfallen. Now, I'm going to go back through some of my earlier readings. I did feel Mueller's report was coming late March and April. As we got into the Stone investigation, I did not feel it was certainly going to come down in early March. So I'm feeling that timeline was roughly in sync. The second thing that I kept picking up during my readings was Trump's money, and in fact the King of Pentacles kept coming up all the time. I still feel that whether it's via Mueller's report, obviously it won't be. That wasn't within his mandate, but he did hand off investigations. So are those other investigations going to be alluded to in his report, which again would then tie things together? I do feel that the issue here, the main issues here are around obstruction and around Trump's business and the way that the president the presidency was intertwined with his business. They're my impressions. Now, the second thing I would say in relation to collusion, let's not even jump the gun on that. They're saying that there was I think they said there was no collusion in that report. Now, again, we haven't seen the report. We don't know what is actually in there. What's the wording there? So I'm just going to leave that one until we see something from Barr. Having said all of that, step back. The main issues for me are around Trump's business, around obstruction of justice, and we're going to just not make any conclusions around any conclusions around collusion just yet. So having said all that, the big question here is how much of the report are we going to see? How much will Barr hold back? He has promised in his letter that there will be as much transparency as he possibly can provide. We've had Pelosi and Schumer come out and say, we want to see that report. You know, really, it's edge of the seat, nail biting stuff. And anyone who thinks that Mueller's report, after all of those convictions and plea deals and you know, all of that redacted copy, some of the evidence we've already seen. Anyone who can say that, you know, Trump's going to get off scot-free when we have all these other investigations going on, sorry, he's not. Okay, so let's have a look at, let me see what I can see in relation to Mueller's report. Yeah, look, I'm seeing Barr, I'm seeing multiple meetings. I'm seeing them discussing how much they can actually bring forward, how much they can keep back. Now, one of the things that Pelosi and Schumer have said, they don't want the White House informed. They don't want the White House tipped off because the president is the subject of the investigation. I do feel that there is information going between the White House and Mar-a-Lago. I do feel that there are these consultations. There's a reason why Sarah Sanders is with him today. He's acting chief of staff, Mulvaney. They're all in Mar-a-Lago. So I do feel that they were tipped off, obviously, that Mueller would be handing down his report. They are now going to spin this, so be prepared for that. They will be there and they will say, we told you, no collusion, no collusion. However, William Barr is going to bring something forward by the end of this weekend. I do feel that he will be trying, because it's his nature to be covert, he will, but there is, you know, he will try, well, when I say try, he will be looking to come down on the side of caution here in keeping things back. But he also understands that the tremendous pressure on him for transparency. I feel... Is there a cover up here? Why would they leak certain bits of the information before the Mueller report came out, i.e. no further indictments, no collusion? Why would they even go there? Why wouldn't they just play it with a straight bat? I do feel, I've always felt, I'll go back to my earlier readings, I feel Barr will uphold the law, but I do feel, my impressions are that he is a Republican and he will be acting in the Republicans' best interests. I do feel that the senators there in the GOP senators. Okay, so I do feel that there, even though there was a lot of strategizing about what could possibly be done, I feel that there's further strategizing now between the Republicans and Trump and how they're going to spin it. So be prepared for that. Okay, let's get into the card readings. All right, our first question here is, we'll go one by one. All right, is Mueller going to find a case for conspiracy? Is the Mueller report going to outline a case for conspiracy? Is Mueller going to outline a case for conspiracy? My impressions are it's going to go very close to that. There's also going to be the DOJ protocol there, no indictments while in office. there's going to be some fairly damning language used, okay? So there's going to be recklessness and disregard for the adversarial nature of who the communications were being had with. There's possibly going to be some recommendations around tightening that kind of election stuff up, that the communications with foreign governments, etc. Yeah, there's going to be all of that. So if Trump thinks that he's having a win here, he's not. All right, is there going to be any conspiracy? We're going to see recommending charges or alluding or talking about an investigation, handoff around conspiracy. Conspiracy, Trump, conspiracy. Okay, we've got the Six of Swords here. I'll just bring that down so you can see the card. This is talking about someone moving on. And so I feel that what's in it in relation to conspiracies will be enough to damage Trump and to actually call for him to step down from office. I do see the Eight of Wands here coming forward. That's multiple matters coming down very quickly. Again, this is telling me, this card on its own is telling me that there are multiple aspects of that report that will cover collusion and conspiracy, if you like. That while if there are any charges that aren't being recommended, the language and the information in there will be so strong as to suggest that what was done was wrong. And we've got, in relation to Trump as the businessman, I think there's going to be some reference to his business dealings with Russia in the past. Okay, now we have the Star of Hope in relation to the Six of Swords moving on. So I do feel that what this report talks about in relation to collusion and conspiracy, the language will be so strong that it will talk about the president's business links and how they were a conflict of interest. This talks quite strongly in strong language about the conflict of interest here. And the Four of Cups here is indicating disappointment and loss. Also indicating a proposal here. I'm feeling around the conflicts of interest here in the presidency will be spoken about quite strongly. Now we've got the Magician here, and it's sitting underneath the Nine of Cups, which is the Trump prior to becoming president. It's going to talk about manipulation here. So recklessness, conflicts of interest, manipulation, that's the kind of language I'm sensing. And it's also going to allude again to Trump's business dealings. And it's going to be calling for more balance here. So there could be some kind of recommendation around and this is where I feel the lawman, the FBI, investigator, Mueller's history will come in and call for almost like sweeping reform so that this situation doesn't happen again. And it is around the money. It is around the mixing of the president's business, and this is what I've always got in these readings, the mixing of the president's business with the office of presidency, or, with campaigning to become president. So his business ties with foreign governments, these conflicts of interests are going to be alluded quite strongly to here. So that's in relation to collusion. Now, it could be that Mueller couldn't tie the president into an actual conspiracy case, though I don't feel that's the case. I feel that they're part of investigations that have been handed off, and I feel that Mueller will Mueller will be linking those investigations within his report. Now, I want to get to obstruction of justice here because I do feel that is a very, very strong part of this report. So what we're going to see is we're going to see the overlay of Trump's conflicts of interest, the business. Trump as the businessman, those multiple areas that weren't appropriate for the president to, in other words, Mueller's report is going to be strong enough to warrant reform in the future on that collusion conspiracy. And I do feel that those investigations are ongoing, particularly with Cohen, and that would point to Southern District of New York. So that's that. Okay, so the recommendations could be there in relation to that, those investigations around by other district attorneys. That report will refer to them. Don't forget we've got the emollients case being driven by the Washington Attorney General. All right, so Mueller's not going to give Trump a free pass on all of this. Okay. Obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice. Obstruction of justice. Again, I'm getting the language is going to be really quite strong around the inappropriateness of Trump's communications while investigations are ongoing. And I do feel that that's some of the substance that they're talking about now between the White House and Mar-a-Lago about Trump coming out and being more controlled. This is going to be, it's going to be a disaster for Trump, and it's going to be a disaster for the GOP. All right, obstruction of justice. Does the report make findings, particular findings around obstruction of justice? Obstruction of justice, Trump obstruction of justice, Trump obstruction of justice. Let's have a look. Okay, I'll just bring the laptop down. Straight away, we've got the moon card here. So this is saying to me that Trump tried to subvert and hide things in relation to his dealings with Moscow. I think that's going to be brought out in the report. We also have the devil here, the devil card coming through, and this is around potentially wrongdoing in relation to obstruction of justice. We're looking at the Seven of Wands, which again is Trump having to defend himself. I do feel that, that the report may use language around, charging a president while in office, etc. However, we recommend that, that the particularly around the lying to Congress, that be further, however they're going to do it. I'm not a lawyer, but I do feel that this obstruction of justice in Mueller's report is one of the strongest aspects of it. Now, it could be they're recommending some kind, this is the card of waiting for results. It could be that and it's underneath the moon card, subverting things, hiding things. I feel that Mueller might say that once the president's, office concludes, or we wouldn't indict a sitting president, but I'm feeling that obstruction of justice is really strong here. And in bullying and intimidating the witnesses here, 5 of Swords, I feel that, oh my goodness, yeah, this is validating my feelings on this. I think the report is going to have something to say about witness tampering here. Okay, here is what I think is going to happen with the Mueller report. I feel that this information is going to be brought forward by Mueller. I feel that the investigations, he's going to refer and link the investigation to the investigations that have been handed off. I feel that language is going to be quite strong here, and I feel that if you think that Trump is going to get off scot-free, no. There is this Seven of Swords around the self-defense card here. Now, again, we know this is theft and betrayal. We're talking about obstruction of justice. Why? The question is, why did he seek to obstruct justice? So, wow, okay, so all this reading is telling me that all the information that tarot readers and psychics have been bringing forward, it's all going to be there in the report. Now, don't be put off by language around no indictments and media speculation, and it's almost like that they have no idea what's really going on. I will say that while the first part of this reading talks about language around collusion, language talking about recklessness, inappropriateness, tying Trump's business dealings into his campaign, the previous businesses with foreign countries, some of them being adversarial countries to the US, not in the national interests here. The merging of these things with the campaign for presidency and the presidency, I feel language is going to be quite strong there, and there could even be some recommendations for reform. But on the obstruction of justice aspect here, I see very, very, very strong cards. Very strong cards. Okay. All right, will Bar try and hold anything back? That's what we need to know now. So I'm sensing the chain of communication between the White House and Mar-a-Lago. I'm feeling the spin doctor's going to work to spin this. We told you, no collusion, no collusion. I feel that the GOP, the senators, and Trump, all of this communication, it's just phones lighting up. Barr, though, what's Barr doing? Barr is not breaking the law, for starters. Barr is being very strategic. Barr and Rosenstein and the DOJ, they're in meetings as well. So what you're going to see is now. So what's going to be Barr's strategy? So his review, he keeps talking about it as a review of the Mueller report. And that worries me, okay, because a review is not bringing forward, it's bringing forward a summary. So he's also said he wants to be as transparent as possible. He understands that. What is he going to do? If we look at what are going to be the deliverables here that Barr's going to deliver? Will the Congress get the full? Here are the questions. Will the Congress get the full report? Will the public get a summary report? I feel that's how it's going to go. Will the Congress get the full report? All right, or will they get a heavily redacted copy of the full report? What are we going to see? The public. We're going to see a very carefully worded summary, I think, for public consumption. Okay, let's have a look. First question up. Okay, Barr. Will he try and hide any of the Mueller report? Oh, I'm getting the Tower card coming through here. Some of the information in there is quite worrying. He may try and hold back things in order to prevent the actual chaos and catastrophe that might come from it. Will Barr try and hide any of the Mueller report? Yeah, okay, Queen of Wands here. This talks about really wanting to preserve security and stability here, but also the drive forward. This is also my card for Congress. So I don't feel he can hide too much with the Democrats in the Congress. I have got the Seven of Swords here. This could either refer to, well, let's have a look here. We'll do a Celtic cross. Okay. So straight away I'm picking up Congress here. What's challenging, so Congress wanting the full, demanding the full report. What's challenging that is Barr trying to hold some things back, but what is not clear to me at this point, whether he's trying to hold things back to cover for the Republican Party, not so much Trump, but the Republican Party, or whether he's trying, my impressions are, whether he's trying to hold back that stuff, that the content of the report that refers to potentially Trump's possible actions here. So I feel that these two things are in conflict in some way at this point. Okay, there is almost the Seven of Pentacles here in the foundation of the reading. You're not going to get the full report at this point in time. Okay, so this is the card of the harvest, where people can be a little bit disappointed in relation to what is being brought forward. So my feeling is there's going to be quite a lot of redactions in there at the very least. However, this could also be referring to Barr being in a no-win situation. Okay, so these are my impressions. In the past, we're looking at the burden, the Ten of Wands here, the burden that this whole investigation has been. It's been also extremely hard work. Okay, so we've got the Sun card here now. In the what is hanging over the entire reading is illumination. Now, this card in this pack is not somebody who is trying to hide something. They've got the sword, they've got this almighty illumination, and it really conjures up the feeling of someone coming forward really into battle and potentially success there. So we're going to see enough of the report to be illuminated by it, and I think this is where the problem is for Trump. Okay, that's my impressions here with this card. I don't feel it can sometimes be a yes card. Are we going to see enough of the Mueller report and then it's followed by Mueller himself? Yes, we are. However, I feel I'll be clear here. I feel my impressions are a couple of things here. I feel Barr will naturally want to redact and be cautious because I saw that Tower card. I also feel that he is also a Republican and he will be likely thinking as a Republican. But he is challenged by the Congress. He's challenged by the House in the Congress, and he understands that he can't hold too much back. He's also challenged, I think, by the information that contained, and that card came up in the obstruction of justice. So by holding back the report, he would be guilty of almost like obstruction of justice. That's why it's a no-win situation for him. Okay, so right now, we're going to have, this is the Five of Wands here. This is obstacles and challenges. That report is going to be facing that. This is also the card of rivalries. So you're going to have, I'm being absolutely upfront here, expect Republicans to fight tooth and nail to hide sections of that report, but also expect the Democrats to argue for bringing it forward. The Five of Pentacles, the environment around this is around being excluded. It's isolation, it's loss, it's not having enough. So I feel that he's going to be hard. That's sitting right above the Five of Wands here. I feel that he's not going to be able to hold too much back. That's what I'm feeling. The hopes and the fears is that the White House will intervene. This is the Five of Swords. It's the bullying. It's the abuse of power. That's in the hope and the fears. It's the fear. Okay. New emotional starts here. New covenants. This is the end of a fairly traumatic period here. This report will bring forward the information, the necessary information that is needed. It will allow for new starts. There will be some kind of proposal. This is the Page of Cups. Some kind of proposal in this report. Some kind of proposal. So there's reform. You know, I could go out on a limb and I could say that this report will make it clear that the president has to step down. So let's have a look at, we'll ask that question. I'm not going to go back over the readings because I'm really reading quite intuitively at the moment, and it's up to you now to make your own minds up regarding this. One thing's clear to me, the Mueller report is not a whitewash. Can I say that again? The Mueller report will not be a whitewash of this presidency. It will contain very, very strong language around, and I'm getting a real draw to that obstruction of justice. You saw those cards. And in terms of Barr holding the report back, he would like to. He would like to, but I just feel the Congress is going to be too strong for him. The public pressure is going to be too strong. I do feel that the public release may not, you know, will either contain heavy redactions. It might be that the confidential report goes to Congress, you know, and, you know, matters of national security are cited there. But I do feel the Democrats aren't going to let up. They're going to push and they're going to push and they're going to push. I do feel that Mueller will refer to these other investigations. And I do feel that Trump will be there spinning and spinning and spinning and saying, no collusion, I'm vindicated. But the actual reality is that he's far from vindicated. And I do feel that he will eventually have to step down. Okay, so, will Trump have to step down? Okay, I'm just getting the picture of the Emperor here. Will Trump have to step down? I'm not getting a clear yes. I'm getting him sitting on his throne. Let's see what if the cards can enlighten us here. Will Trump have to step down? Okay, let's ask, will Trump have to resign? Because that's how I originally saw it. I go back to my original readings. If you go back to the early ones, around that Trump timeline particularly that I did, which showed that he would have to resign. June, July, we're starting to get real pressure for a resignation. Okay, and he's gone by the you know, like the latter half of this year. August, perhaps September, October. I don't see him running in 2020. Okay, will Trump have to resign? Will Trump resign? Will Trump resign? Okay, so I actually got him stepping down from his throne, if you like, then. But it was in the wording that I was using. When I said have to, I got this resistance. When I said will he resign, I saw him stepping down. So that tells me there's going to be a wrangle around it. He's going to fight that. All right, so let's have a look. Will Trump resign as a result of the Mueller report and other investigations? All right, so we've got the Star of Hope, or the intent here. We've got him defending himself, which is the challenge to the Star of Hope. Okay, hope and change is never easy, is it? Hope and change never goes in the linear path that we are expecting, does it? It never goes in that. Hope and change is always hard fought. Trump is going to try and defend himself and resist it. The foundation of this reading is the Six of Wands, which is the victory card. It's someone riding in for victory. The question is, victory for whom? In the past, we've got the Three of Wands. This is expansion, commerce, overseas. This sometimes comes up to business with Russia. That's what I'm seeing in the past. And here we've got the Six of Pentacles, my big draw card in the whole Mueller investigation, and particularly the key parts that he handed off, has to do with Donald Trump's business. Okay, and this is again what I'm seeing coming forward here. Restriction, the Eight of Swords, restriction, imprisonment, sacrifice in relation to his business. He could step down in order to preserve what is left of his business. Now, what we've got here in the situation right now is the Ten of Swords, and this is rock bottom, hitting rock bottom. So I asked, will he resign? We're in the environment around, the calls are going to be so strong that he will have to step down. Okay, so I'm getting a clear read on this. He's going to resist. He's going to try and hang on. He's fearful. He's fearful that if he doesn't hang on, he's, when he does get out of the president's office, he's not going to have the protection of the president's office. But I'm getting the Ace of Wands, which is new starts. Okay, I can confirm my earlier readings that Trump will resign. He will, the way that I always saw it happening was the GOP going to him and saying, it would be best, sir, if you step down. Now, that's not saying that he won't face justice. Please do remember the amount of investigation that's been handed off to district attorneys, which are ongoing. Please do recall the amount of investigation the actual House is doing into Trump's presidency. The way that I've always seen it is that he stands down, then he has to face multiple court cases forever and a day. So let's have a look at the GOP. So I'm not sensing any real change in what we've all been expecting, except around that collusion, and I feel that that could be the part of other investigations which tie into his business here. But I do feel the language will be very strong, and I do feel that there might even be some recommendations for reform around business people conducting businesses with foreign entities, adversarial foreign entities, standing and campaigning and standing and eventually holding the office of the president. It's going to say that's a threat to national security. All right, so the GOP, what are they going to do? Obviously, they're going to be spinning it. What are the GOP going to be doing? What are my impressions of this? Okay, so I should say that these are all my impressions, then what I intuit from card readings. What are the GOP going to be doing? I feel like there's a lot. They're operating. I just see a really brightly lit room, and it's like they're operating in an illumination. We had that sun card. It's going to be very careful for them to be hiding or trying to, subvert stuff. The illumination is just too strong for them. The light is just too strong. So what will the GOP? Will the GOP eventually put pressure on Donald Trump to resign? Not right now, I'm hearing. Not right now. But when the pressure gets so high for them, the tide will turn. It's the public pressure. It's, outrage. Okay, so will the GOP put pressure there on Trump to resign? Okay, it is around his businesses. This is loans and debts, giving and receiving help. I feel that this is the critical point for them, that they can't. What's challenging them is this illumination that I was talking about through the Mueller report. They are isolated, foundation of the reading. The president is isolated as well. In the past, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. It is around his business dealings here that is the biggest vulnerability. We've got the Queen of Swords. This is the Congress here. They don't hold absolute power. They can't sweep things underneath the rug. This is the House and the Mueller report. They will be trying to defend themselves. We saw this card coming up multiple times in this reading, the Seven of Wands, self-defense. We've got right now they're working together to try and spin this. This was what the Three of Pentacles. It's almost in this card too. This can be repair. It can refer to trying to repair their reputations. The environment around is disappointment and loss, and potentially the smaller proposal bringing forward. Are they going to bring a proposal forward to Trump? Okay, the Wheel of Fortune in the hopes and fears. This is both the Wheel of Fortune turning negatively for them, and the hope that this is a karmic situation here, a very strong situation. And we've got the Knave of Swords, prying eyes, too much illumination on this. This is the truth coming out. Yep, and new beginnings. Okay, so that's telling me. All right, the GOP will eventually, not immediately, go to Trump and say you no longer have the confidence of the Congress, and you will need to step down. So, in terms of processes, I feel Mueller will come out, public pressure will increase, the Democrats will keep hammering at it, there will be attempts to spin it in the best possible light, but eventually, as I've always thought, he will be forced to step down. Now, will he face justice ultimately through all those other investigations that the district attorneys have? They're again for later readings. This reading's quite long now, so I'll thank you for staying with me. It's nearly 42 minutes, but that's the way that I see it. So yeah, really keep your powder dry. Hang on, hold on to stuff, because there's a lot coming out in that report. Thank you.